When it comes to the transformations that a Kryptonian Saiyan hybrid would have, they would be insanely unique. They would work entirely unique to how a Saiyan's transformations work for, like, the canon Saiyans. And since this is a hybrid, we also got to keep in mind that this would technically be a hybrid Saiyan. So not only is their potential higher, so they'd be able to achieve forms easier, be able to grow more rapidly in terms of power, but with the Kryptonian half, as long as there is a star or just some source of solar radiation that would be powering them, any transformation that has any sort of downside, like either putting strain on the body, insane stamina loss, Super Saiyan 3, are going to be effortless. As long as that star is in the sky, those kinds of downsides are going to be non-existent. Also, with solar radiation, Kryptonians can use that energy to heal wounds, so they could, in theory, use that to get Zenkais if they were to get damage in a fight. That's assuming that they'd even encounter something that could damage a hybrid Saiyan Kryptonian that's been training for years, building up solar energy for years, and so on and so forth, just exponentially exploiting both characters' potential. And if they were raised on Earth, they would have a human-like mentality, which is going to make it easier for them to use the extent of Saiyan powers because they'd be much more kind, be able to actually achieve said Super Saiyan forms, or just powers in general. Also, if for some reason they were to get their potential unlocked by something like the Elder Kai, I don't know how that would work. Like, what is the theoretical of a potential unleashed Kryptonian? Like, with a Saiyan, it makes sense, because their whole thing is, like, limitless training potential. But with something like Kryptonian, what would getting their potential unleashed really do? Besides, obviously, the initial power boost, because of drawing out your potential. Would it just boost the physical stats and draw out their physical potential? Or would it, like, unlock advanced Kryptonian abilities that would normally take decades for a Kryptonian to learn and master? Also, what type of Saiyan was one of the parents? Were they a full-blooded Saiyan? Were they one of the mutant Saiyans like Broly? Was the parent already a hybrid Saiyan like Gohan, Goten, Trunks, so on and so forth? Each of those would result in a different possibility for what this hybrid would have. Let's just say it was Broly, for example. If it were to tap into that legendary Super Saiyan form, their Kryptonian body would be able to handle a much higher cap to their ever-growing power. Because think about Dragon Ball Super Broly, for example. Prior to turning Super Saiyan, once he turned into his Akari state, although growing exponentially in power, he soon reached a kind of limit. Effectively, the max amount of power his body was able to handle prior to the whole Super Saiyan thing. But throwing in the Kryptonian here, you are increasing their ceiling for power exponentially, resulting in not only them growing more and more powerful, because with a legendary Super Saiyan they grow stronger as the fight goes on, and their base level durability is going to be Saiyan mixed with Kryptonian. But the longer the fight goes on, they're not only going to be able to continuously heal wounds and keep growing stronger as long as they are exposed to sunlight, but continuously grow thanks to Broly-like potential. Also, Kryptonians can breathe in space, and if they truly were in a fight where even everything I've explained wasn't enough, they could do something called sun dipping, where they literally just, as the name implies, take a dip inside the sun and basically just get supercharged with solar energy. The closest thing in Dragon Ball to something like this is like in the movies when Goku just absorbs the Spirit Bomb into his body. You just have an excessive amount of energy that even your own body could struggle to handle at times. But if this was someone like Broly who already has a high threshold, but then you're throwing in the threshold of power that a Kryptonian can handle, maybe they could just casually do a sun dip that would normally be almost too much for a Kryptonian, but for this hybrid would be pretty effortless. Or at absolute most, a little difficult. Meaning this character quite literally has near limitless potential in combat power, training potential, and overall just crack genetics in general.